Well, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of TEW Total Extreme Wrestling, the Reality Era 2013 WWE. That's a pretty big mouthful. And we have our episode, our taping of Superstars today, which will immediately be followed by SmackDown. And I wanted to say, I thought I recorded it, but it did not. Oh, excuse me, sorry for the coughing. Brock Lesnar and Mr. McMahon have tension because Brock Lesnar beat up a fan before the show. And the Triple H feud I was going to do was just, I didn't really like it. I wasn't too into it. And they have bad chemistry, so I just suspended him. So Brock Lesnar's suspended, so fuck Brock Lesnar. But anyway, besides fucking Brock Lesnar, let's get into this week's episode of Superstars. Alright, we have a pretty awful match, but it's pretty much before the dark match of the tapings even. Astra Dunla, or Buggy Nova, getting a win over local talent Erica DeErico. Astra Dunla pulling a 30, trying to get her more over. But I'm just kind of scared to get her into the ring with, I don't want her to job out, because it's kind of hard to bring certain people back. But at the same time, I'm probably going to start giving her some segments on live TV. Probably post-Mania. Maybe that'll do it. But yeah, no. So post-Mania. And she cuts a pretty... I wanted to see how she cut a promo. I'm not sure. Does it say... What's it called? It wasn't really given... the announced quality lifted it. So she could cut a decent promo. She's not too over yet. I haven't talked about this yet, but I have been thinking about editing certain statistics or factors in the game if I want to tell a story. I'm not going to do that yet. I might do that near the end of the series, where at that point, because I do want to keep this going on for a long time. At that point, I'll just be like, whatever, what the fuck, I'll just do this or that. But for now, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. So, but yeah, no, she cuts a pretty decent promo just for not being that over. And we cut to, the first thing we see on the show is hyping the main event, which is Lord Tensai versus Brodus Clay in the main event of Superstars, It is what it is. We have our first match. A pretty decent match. God, Kings of Wrestling ratings, my dude. Kings of Wrestling, they go over Miami Vices when Chris Hero hits Roderick Strong with the Hangman's Elbow. Chris Hero getting a 92, Cesaro getting a 91. They show excellent chemistry. 82B for the match is pretty good. And our next match, we have a cool down match. We have AJ Lee's gimmick is getting stale. I'll have to. I know a lot of people's gimmicks are stale. I have to make a note of that. I'm gonna literally write that to keep note of that, and I'll change that later on. Maybe I could change that during SmackDown. But yeah, no, AJ Lee's gimmick is getting stale. She gets a 62, so that's decent with recent FCW bring up Maxine. Her contract ran out, and she said, I do not want to be in developmental. So I said, okay, you're going to drop out on Superstars. So, AJ Lee getting some momentum going to that number one contenders tournament match between Natalya and herself. Let's go to the next segment. And we have a fun little segment here. It's Wade Barrett. I believe on Superstars or SmackDown. I can't remember. Yeah, no, it was on Superstars, I believe. He's backstage and he's messing around with Xavier Woods because Xavier Woods wants an NXT title shot, but Douglas Williams, I'm sorry, not Doug. He hasn't gotten his one-on-one rematch for technically his European Championship, but same old. Wade Barrett's goddamn. Everyone's gimmicks are stale. Wade Barrett, the Gimmicks brother. So Wade Barrett's just kind of bullying him, and Zack Ryder comes out, and he kind of does, he kind of makes the save, quote unquote. He kind of steps in between them, Why don't you pick on someone your own size, all Xavier Woods wants is an NXT title shot. I wanted an NXT title shot. You messed with me. You saw where that got you. So Wade Barrett kind of looks pissed off. He walks away as Xavier Woods and Zack Ryder look at each other, Zack Ryder's looking for people for the Zack Pack, to take on the United Kingdom, Maybe he's found someone in Xavier Woods. We'll go on to the next segment. We have 8-man tag team turmoil action. We have Curtis Axel and The Shield versus the Hart Dynasty and Pride and Honor, which ends with Dean Ambrose hitting Ricky Steamboat with the Dirty Deeds for the win. Just trying to get the Shield over some. You know, they're doing pretty decent. Roman Reigns kind of lacking in the performance department, but, you know, whatever. Everyone else did pretty good. Richie Steamboat even got a 55. That's pretty impressive. He used to be getting, like, 20s. So, like, on the Buggy Nova case, you know, even jobbing out, I guess, can get you over some. And then we have a backstage segment of John Cena and CM Punk kind of having a little confrontation. I was going to think of something to say, but they pretty much just, you know, CM Punk just mocks John Cena for not being able to challenge for the WWE title. And John Cena, for like the last couple weeks, he doesn't really say anything at all. He's kind of stone-faced, whatnot. He kind of looks just, I wouldn't say depressed, but kind of like just going through the motions, just like, you know, Rabadoo, you can't see me. He kind of looks just like he's on the down slow for that kind of stuff. And we have another gimmick getting stale. God, 2 gimmicks getting stale. The Gimmicks, brother, they're getting stale. In a decent match, Lord Tensai hits a reverse pile driver. My God, everyone wants these pile drivers. On to Brodus Clay in about 12 minutes for a B-72. Decent match. Pretty good match. But again, I'm going to write down the Gimmicks, brother. They're getting stale. So we go to I believe there's one more segment. Yeah, it's just a hype video for all the segments, just to get them some, you know, just kind of like just hyping some Raw and Smackdown feuds to end the show. Of superstars. So let's see. Yeah, 83, you know, B show, so there's no popularity gain, whatnot. So yeah, no, I'll see you guys for the SmackDown, the actual live SmackDown tapings. Well, no, they're not tapings if they're live. Great job, idiot. Alright, everybody, and welcome to the SmackDown segment of the video. We have a pre-show bout, the dark match to open up the show, which is Latina America taking on the Bella Twins, who get the better of Latina America with a twin magic. I don't remember what twin magic actually is. Is that... I know it's the gimmick is that they would change places, but is that what... did they have a move called that? I can't remember. I was watching wrestling, like, I wasn't, like, completely zoned in on it, but I watched it with my father. This was around the time, not 2013, but around the time when the Bellas first came up. But, you know, I probably don't know, because I really didn't care for the Bellas at that time, let alone now. But, you know, I'm here, I'm booking the game, so get the Bellas a win on the pre-show. I do have a plan for them. And I'm going to just get rid of this before. Just, you know, pretty basic segment here. Dolph Ziggler comes down to the ring. He takes a microphone. He starts talking to the crowd. He's doing his thing, which he really is trying to get under the skin of Christian. If you kind of noticed by now, Dolph Ziggler's game plan is just kind of piss Christian off. In that way, I can, you know, have an easier win at WrestleMania. He's distracted, you know. It's kind of reminiscent of what Christian did to Randy Orton when you think about it, you know, where he got the disqualification, wins the championship. That's not going to be the stipulation of WrestleMania, but, you know, Dolph Ziggler, you know, he's got that pretty attitude. He can wrestle, but he's got some smarts in him. But eventually, Christian comes out and he interrupts him, and they have a big argument going back and forth on the microphone, and then they start brawling and have to be pulled apart. While Vicky Guerrero is still kind of managing him. I haven't thrown her in the storyline yet, but, you know, she's there. You know, doing her Vicky Guerrero thing, probably getting the crowd pretty pissed off about something. But, yeah, you know, there you go. That's how we start the actual segment of the show. There's no pre-booking. Usually there's pre-booking. And we have a video between Mark Henry and Sheamus. If you don't remember last time on SmackDown, it was announced that Mark Henry and Sheamus are battling for qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. And we also have the other qualifying match tonight as our main event. I won't spoil what it is. But, yeah, we're going to see all of SmackDown's participants for Money in the Bank. The one crowned last week was Alberto Del Rio, so we'll have to see how that match does. And an 88B+, I kind of hope this match got better, but, you know, Sheamus, and the thing with Mark Henry is he gets good ratings, but he can't go for too long. And when you're booking between two main event matches, Essentially, this is a main event match, essentially, because they're two main eventers. You have to book them long. But, still he did pretty good. Sheamus beats Mark Henry, however, he hits him with a bro kick in about 19 minutes. Sheamus is going to WrestleMania. He's going to be in Money in the Bank with Alberto Del Rio and whoever wins our main event match. So we're now going to cut to a kind of a breather match. Randy Orton, using the magical power of foresight, hits Jinder Mahal with the sickest RKO ever, avenging his loss to Jinder Mahal at, I believe it was Backlash. Fun fact, I went to NXT TakeOver Chicago. It was a toss-up between that and seeing this match, and I've never regretted it since, because if I was in the arena, I probably would have tried to jump the crowd and beat Jinder Mahal. I want your input to see who gets pushed, right? And maybe this will start memes. I hope it does not. But Jinder Mahal's never getting a push in the series. I do not like Jinder Mahal. I just don't think he's a good wrestler. I don't like the gimmick. This is like in between the 3MB gimmick, I believe, at the time was going on, kind of. So that's even worse for him. But Jinder Mahal will never go anywhere in this series. Maybe unless there's like a yes movement for Jinder Mahal, then I might write a story about that. But anyway, 6 minutes, he eats an RKO for the win. And we cut back to Sami Zayn, Kevin Steen. They talk about the Kings of Wrestling. They were talking mad smack, but the problem is that they're a Raw team, and the problem with Sami Zayn and Kevin Steen, they want to settle this now. They don't want to wait till WrestleMania. They want to get their hands on them as soon as possible, the Kings of Wrestling. So they said they talked with General Manager Shawn Michaels, who's going to talk to Stone Cold Steve Austin on Raw, and they're going to arrange a little thing. If they're up for the challenge, Zayn challenge the Kings of Wrestling to a match on SmackDown next week. So we'll have to see how the Kings of Wrestling respond to that. And getting an 8A segment. So that's pretty good. And we have... I forgot. This is the number 1 qualifier match. Dang it, I forgot. There should be no winner. So there's no winner. The match is stopped. Sorry about that. So AJ Lee and Natalya, the number 1 contenders tournament for the Divas title, ends in chaos at the 20-minute mark. When AJ... not when AJ Lee continue. Madison Rayne runs in and absolutely decks both Natalya and AJ Lee. So she just takes both of them out, and there's chaos as the referee calls for the bell. The tournament ends in chaos, like I said, when Madison Rayne just goes ham. She goes apeshit. What does this mean? Although it pretty much becomes clear to the audience at this point that's in attendance that, she's doing this so there is no number 1 contender for her Divas title. She doesn't want to fight at WrestleMania. Oh, yes, we have to do this. Gimmicks are stale, so I'm giving her a new culture, and got an average gimmick. But whatever, better than a stale gimmick. Although I didn't say her gimmick was stale that time, so it's dumb. And in this segment, after... Madison Lane is laughing her plan having succeeded somewhat, Trish Stratus comes out and says, Madison, I figured something like this would happen. I figured you'd come down and try and ruin this match. So you know what? AJ Lee and Natalya put on a great match. So here's what I'm going to do. You're going to go up against Natalya. And Madison Lane already looks pissed. Again, she doesn't want to fight. And she goes, and you're going to wrestle AJ Lee. And she looks confused. She goes, WrestleMania 29, women's triple threat. Have fun, kid. And Madison Lane immediately starts to freak out as AJ Lee and Natalya, they watch that, and then they immediately kind of put the boots to Madison Lane for ruining their match. There's animosity between them, but the enemy of enemy is my friend. So it is official. It's Madison Lane, AJ Lee, and Natalya for the Divas title at WrestleMania. And we have our main event of the evening. It's the Money in the Bank qualifier match. It's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's kind of been on a low point, losing the Intercontinental title to Goldust. He's been kind of just, I wouldn't say like John Cena over on Raw, but he's been kind of in this mood where he's just so, he's just so kind of like disconnected. All he can think about is wrestling. Wrestling is his life, it's blood. So instead of, being sad about fan support and all that kind of stuff, there's a fax machine phone going off. Please ignore that. He's going to try and, he's going to try and win this match. So we're going to see that match real quick. And about the hand, good wrestling, great heat. Oh, I forgot to do the storyline thing, but whatever. Daniel Bryan beats Rey Mysterio in 20 minutes with a guillotine choke submission. Daniel Bryan's going to Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. So our official SmackDown Money in the Bank participants are Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, and Daniel Bryan. But we do have one more segment next. The lights go out. There's a gong. It's The Undertaker. The Undertaker comes out and he gets a microphone and he starts talking about Ryback. He goes, Ryback has picked up an incredible streak so far in the WWE. He has undefeated. Whatever he set his mind to, whatever opponents come his way, he's beat them. But the bell will toll for you eventually. Because there's another streak that Ryback has set his sights on. And it's a sight he shouldn't have set. The streak at WrestleMania is legendary. And Undertaker knows that everyone wants to beat it. But everyone so far, look at the list of opponents. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Jake the Snake, Jimmy Snuka, Randy Orton, they've all fallen to the streak. Whether in the distant past or now in the present. All Ryback's going to be in the near future is just another victim and another record in the history books. And then the gong happens again. Lights come back out. Undertaker's nowhere to be seen. So the dead man making it clear that he's going to bury Ryback. This isn't a buried alive match. Now that I said that in my mind, it's like, oh god. But no, just a regular old match between the two. But, just hyping that up to end the show. Let's see how we did. 89A, no specific comments. The matches could have been better. In my opinion. But, whatever. Again, storytelling is not. But, pretty overall, I'm pretty happy with this episode of SmackDown. A lot of stories got involved. I was thinking about putting on different matches, but, whatever, going on about that. So, yeah, no, they're going to have some interesting build-up on the road to WrestleMania. We're entering closer and closer to it. So I'll have to see you for the next episode of Monday Night Raw.